What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Deck Plate Champion? Shout out to everybody, man. I'm sorry for getting the live stream a little bit late, but thank you for everybody who've been checking out my videos and stuff like that. Shout out to all of my subscribers out there. Got 900 and change. Thank you guys for your support, man. For real, I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Part of the technical difficulties, but we're gonna get into this. We are talking about the Navy, and they finally have allowed cell phone usage in the boot camp. I mean, it's official now. On the 29th, they released it. And we're going to get into the nitty gritty and stuff like that. I'm going to ask a few questions, give my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. As you guys come in here, make sure to like, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and come join this place. Me and the rest of the Deck Plate Champions, where we talk about wrestling, sports, and music. Yeah, right? Is that right? Yeah, we talk about Navy life, wrestling, and music. Anyway, let's go on to this, right? We're gonna go to the Navy Times real quick. All right, somebody look at this for me. All right, so check out what the Navy Times got on the cell phone usage stuff. So from the Navy Times perspective, they says this right here. All right, I'm gonna just read a little bit and then we're gonna go on. They said that Navy recruits undergoing basic training at Naval Station Great Lakes, Illinois. They now can call their families on their cell phones. It's a departure from previous Navy policy that barred the use of cell phones while there. The policy change comes as Navy eyes ways to lower attrition rates amid challenging recruit environments for all military service as Navy misses recruiting goals for the first time since the other years. Going forward, recruits are authorized to use their personal devices rather than landlines for 5 phone calls they're being granted during the 10-week boot camp, a change that RTC has came up after several months of testing a new policy. Crazy stuff, right? So with this right here, man, it's crazy. I'm gonna read some more stuff. Hey, shout out to you guys that joined, man. Let's read the rest of it. I mean, yo, and I'm telling you, since we've been talking about this at work and all these other circles where people talk about stuff like this, yo, people have been so mad, man. It's kind of funny, man. Let's continue on this. All right, where we at? All right, where we at on this? All right, so part of the border initiative to improve or broader initiatives to improve quality of life for sailors, officials hope the new policy will help reduce the number of sailors that who drop out in the initial weeks of basic training. So hold up. So is this what it's saying? They saying that when this Navy boot camp stuff been going on, recruits been dropping out like in the first few weeks. Is that right? I hope that's not happening because the first couple of weeks of boot camp ain't even that hard. All right, we're hoping that allowing recruits continue, but limited access to their cell phones and digital identities. What the hell? May reduce this attrition. Lieutenant Imran Robal, Recruit Training Command's clinical psychologist, said in a Navy news release, as digital natives, new recruits can potentially experience psychological stress from being abruptly disconnected from their digital identities. Wow, that's crazy. Navy said the new policy aims to help sailors gradually adjust to life aboard a ship where digital access is limited. All right, cool. All right, so far I'm seeing what's going on, and it's not that bad, honestly. You know, some people I can't believe this is going on. All right, let's read the rest of it. All right, it's still important that we train sailors to be resilient. Froberg said we have to do better in the space to prepare our sailors for digitally austere operating environment at sea. Navy First announced this in November. Yeah, that's true. They talking about having cell phone usage during designated periods to connect with family and friends and handle personal matters. I did a video on that one, and the Navy is aimed to they're aiming to bring 40,600 new sailors in the Navy and stuff like that. All right, cool. All right, so that's all right. This is what I think on it, and I got some comments. I'm gonna get with those comments in a little bit. Shout out to everybody. This is what I think about this right here. Right. First of all, I support it, man. I think it's all right. All right, so let's see what Beef and Vendetta is saying. That's a cool ass name. Honestly, don't feel like this will work. I think dozens of recruits are getting their division smoked for misconduct on cell phone. Yo, you know what? You got a good point there. I was thinking that too. All right, or even worse, dismissed from boot camp. You know what? V, I think you're right on that. I was thinking that, just a couple seconds ago. Like, you know what? Somebody gonna take it too far. Somebody gonna, take it from their Diddy box or wherever they gonna put the phones, and they gonna be doing some bullshit they not supposed to be doing. That's what I think. All right, what is Jay saying? These recruits about to be posting crazy TikToks and making Reddit posts. yo, yo, you might be right about that, honestly. This is what I think, right? Y'all bear with me. I think that too. I believe that. I don't think it's just gonna be, everybody following the rules and stuff, because that's not how things go. You know what I'm saying? People don't just follow the rules and stuff like that. Not in the Navy. Folks be going crazy. But let me post this right quick, and then I'm gonna get right with y'all. Let me share this. No, my bad. Yeah. So post this right quick. All right. So here, let me. All right. All right, so let's do this, guys. All right, so let's talk about how long the phone calls are. All right, so this how long I think the phone calls. All right, so when you first get in a boot camp, right? Everybody experienced that whole getting in boot camp. I mean, those if you haven't already, as soon as you get to boot camp, they're gonna give you like a little bit of time. All right, when I went through it, it was like damn, maybe like 10 seconds or something like that. Call your family and say, hey, I'm in boot camp. Then you got somebody behind you. Get the fuck off the phone. They go crazy and stuff like that. So I'm thinking you get the little 20, 30 minute, 20 or 30-second phone call. Hey, family, I arrived. I'm safe. And then you got somebody on you. All right, cool. So you got that phone call. And then when you get your phone calls, and we're going to talk about how many you get, I think that it's going to be, it really depends on how many recruits and stuff. And this is all like speculation. If you guys really want to know the real, I think it's a page. I don't think nobody have the specifics of it right now because it's still brand new. But it's this YouTube channel, Axa RDC. And I don't know if they still working at RTC, but they got like the no shit truth on what it's going to be for real. So like when that policy come out, that person probably be the best bet. Me, I'll be taking a look at it. I'm sure Nikki MGT, he probably got connections at RTC right now, but it just came out on the 29th, so it's not a whole bunch of information on how that goes about right now. But I can tell you, it's going to be 5 phone calls. How long they are, this is going to be. I think that it depends on the number of the divisions and stuff like that. And let's say you got 60 people in the division and stuff, and y'all got like an hour block. They going for that hour block. Get as much time in as they can. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm not really 100% sure how long the phone call is going to be. They probably going to say, Recruit, you got 30 minutes to make a phone call to all your family members and shit like that. 15 minutes and stuff. When I went through, I think we had like a little grace period, like about 10, 15 minutes and stuff like that. And that's where we got it. So I'm thinking 5 times as stuff progressed, like they're going to either, add more time or, not add more time depending on what happens and stuff like that. That's what I think, but as time progressed and as we open up the policy, it's been like, it happened on the 29th, this whole policy opened up. So there's not a whole bunch of stuff to go on it. So it's like a little over a week that this has been going on. So as it progressed, though, I'm sure we'll find out more. Like Navy probably put out a list of how many phone calls or something. I don't know, man. Let me check the comments. What are you guys saying? All right, let's see. Jay says, imagine RDC catching a recruit making a TikTok. Yo, that would be dirty right there. If RDC called him making a TikTok, oh, man. They would flame them, and I still let them post it, too. All right. Hey, brother, any insight on the YN, whether it's good for the civilian? Yeah. Yeah, I think being a YN is good for the civilian. Like being a YN, like I'm a YN now, and like YNs are versatile. You could be a yeoman, and you can fill a lot of different roles. From the firefighting side. Let's say if you're a yeoman on a ship, for example, right? A yeoman on a ship, they got the potential to be, just about they could go in a lot of different areas like engineering. You can go into anti-terrorism. You can go in, a whole bunch of different things. And then your actual job as yeoman, you run in the office, run administration. It's a lot of good stuff that translate into different civilian jobs on that. We can talk more on the side. Just message me, man. Just hit me up on, let's see, just hit me up on like Instagram or something at deckplate_tone, and then we can talk more on that. All right. Right now, we talking about the cell phone policy. So just shout out to you. Just send me a message, and we can talk more in detail. All right. All right. So let's talk about. Hold on. Let's see. Will there be any other times to use your phone? I think so. I think so. If you look at, I was reading something on Reddit one time, and they was talking about the RDCs, and the RDCs was like, gifting people, like cell phone usage and stuff like that, or phone time and stuff based on how good they were acting. For instance, somebody polished their boots. They was like, I'm gonna give like 2 minutes of cell phone usage to any recruits that got like the best boots and stuff like that. And so the recruits are going crazy on their booth, making sure they're black and buff, having the best shine and stuff like that. And then they were getting awarded some cell phone usage. Like there was others that was, I guess, getting in trouble, getting caught for using their cell phones at different times and stuff like that. And then I hear about it's other times that you'll get to use it too. Let's say, for instance, if you was to get asthma or you getting kicked out, or you getting sent home for whatever reason, you're gonna be able to use your cell phone. Or if you in holds for whatever reason, at some point you're gonna be able to use your cell phone and stuff like that. And then at a certain part, when you pass the milestone thing, I believe you are able to use your cell phone. And then or you'll be able to use your cell phone. And then when you coordinating with your family, let's say you're graduating, you're about to go, you got to talk to your family to make sure that everything is copacetic. And then how the policy is going, how things are being adjusted and tweaked. I'm sure that there'll be other opportunities and stuff like that. But like Jay said, I think somebody they gonna be doing some stupid stuff and getting a lot of those privileges taken away. That I truly do think that. All right, let's see what else y'all got to say in the comments. And I hope everybody is doing good, man. Happy Friday Junior to everybody out there. I hope you guys are doing well, man. All right, let's see. What's your thoughts on enlisting with the college degree? My cousin wants to enlist, but he has a degree in computer science. I'm trying to get him to go to OCS. I mean, do it. What's the hurt on it? I mean, if you enlisting with a college degree, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to be an officer, go be an officer. I mean, being with the officer community, I got my reservations on that. But if you want to, be in the trenches and stuff with the, experience like the real nitty gritty sailor life, become enlisted. If you want to experience the high class, upper class life and stuff, so to speak, or more leadership and stuff like that, and more chance to make a difference in policy and stuff like that, then go to officer route. All right. My man Brad said, "Hey, shout out to you, Brad. What's up with you, man?" He said, "I'll never forget the first call phone." He said, "Dudes was crying like they just can't." Yeah, yo, I can't even lie. My first phone call experience. Yo, I remember just making a call, man, and hearing people crying and stuff. Oh, I want to come home. It was kind of funny, man. Oh man. Yo, Brandon's right. Soon as people get their first phone call, man, they be crying. It's kind of funny, especially if you're not that type of person that be crying over everything. When you hear people next to you crying, yo, that joint is so funny. Because the stuff they be crying about don't even be that serious. They be like, yo, the only thing they do is yell at us. And it's like, oh my God, y'all crazy. Yo, Brad said they be crying like they be coming back from war or something. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. When people be talking about how traumatized they are, I'm like, for what? Like, it don't even be that serious, man. Yo, boot camp is the easiest thing I've ever done. But honestly, if you're not used to getting yelled at, it's tough. I'm used to getting yelled at. I grew up getting yelled at, so my parents was on my behind for everything. It was like, okay. So by the time I got to boot camp, somebody yelling at me for something, it was just like, I mean, it's what it is, you know. Oh, wrong answer. It's like, oh damn, okay, all right, I get it right next time, you know. So whatever though. All right, so let's talk about. Oh yeah, we talked about that. We talked about how long the phone call. All right, let's see. Let's see. Will you be able to use other apps? I'm gonna tell you straight right now. You're likely not going to be, but like I can see people like, oh, I'm just trying to find the number for this person, so I gotta use Messenger. So I can see people using Messenger. I can just see people allowing them to use Messenger. Because think about this, they're trying to build attrition or reduce attrition. All right, reduce people dropping out like their initial weeks and stuff like that. So I think they're going to be lenient on a lot of stuff. So somebody just happen to get caught using Messenger or something like that, they like, are you trying to contact your family? They like, yes, petty officer, and then they gonna just allow it. And then you know how it is, like anywhere, if you get somebody an inch, they gonna take an inch. Then they gonna take a yard when you're not looking. Next thing you know, they gonna take a whole goddamn football field. So I think they gonna use Messenger. Somebody ain't looking. Use Snapchat. Somebody ain't looking. So oh damn, how did I get to Amazon? And that's how it's gonna be. I think So I think you're not gonna be able to use other apps, but I think people gonna be using other apps and stuff. You're right. You like, for instance, you're not gonna be able to use, let's see, like going to Amazon, like I said, ordering stuff like that. Going to check the scores on NBA, but people probably gonna do that. Then I think it might be some RDCs and stuff that be like, all right, you're gonna talk to your family or whatever until this time. And I think during that time, people gonna be, oh, let me check the scores for my favorite team, the NBA, NFL. Let me check the wrestling, whatever it is they checking about. And I think that there's some that's gonna be like, yo, you can only use your cell phone. If I see you on your phone scrolling for any reason other than talking on the phone, I'm taking your joint. And I think it's gonna be like that. But then if it's just one time where somebody get a complaint like, oh, like we were supposed to be using our cell phones at this time, and petty officer or chief so and so, they said I couldn't use my phone, then they're gonna kill all that. That's what I think, because like I said, they're trying to reduce people from dropping out. They're trying to reduce people, the chances of people dropping out of the Navy and stuff like that. So I mean, I think that's what it's gonna be, man, for real. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Brand said that I think that time away from. Huh? What do you mean, Brand? I don't know what that means. Let me see. I don't know, but somebody let me know if that makes sense. Somebody tell me if I'm making sense on what I'm talking about here. All right, so let just bear with me, because it's something on another Navy website where they said something. All right, so one thing I was looking at, let's see. All right, so if you guys look here, I don't know if you can see that, but they said recruits, they'll be allowed to have 5 phone calls during their training. All right, and those phone calls, they're gonna be made with their devices, blah 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 blah. All right, they're gonna be able to call just friends and family, apparently. But like I said, it's gonna be people doing more than just talking to just their family and stuff like that, right? So let me see. All right, a good change on it though, to build some clarity. The change, you're not gonna be able to like just have your phone at all the time, right? Right, your phone's gonna be kept in your lockers. Recruits can access the phone during the time built in approximately a 10-week schedule. Blah 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 blah. RTC is gonna have plans to have a way to charge the phones and stuff like that too. All right, so that's not bad. So they're not just gonna have their phone all willy nilly and stuff like that, but they're gonna have their phones in their lockers and stuff like that. And then they're gonna have a plan for them to be able to charge their phones and stuff too. So you got to have your phone out to charge. So I'm thinking that it's gonna be more chances that they're gonna be able to, have their phones out and stuff. That's going back to this thing. Will there be any other times to use your phone? Say, for instance, if somebody is charging their phone and stuff, and let's say the division is, doing whatever, or it's holiday routine or something like that, then they might be able to use their phone. I don't know. I don't know for sure because I'm not there. I'm not the RTC and stuff like that. But I can see something like that happening. Let's see what the comments are saying. All right, let's see. Brent said, I think the time away from their phone gives us a chance for growth. Let's see. I think the time away from our phone gives us a chance for growth. In some cases, but here, so check it out, Grant. So it's like this, bro. All right, so what they saying is like, all right, they prepare them for an environment where it's like you at sea. I mean, I don't really get that because if you at sea, I mean, yeah, I guess you have your cell phone at sea. You just don't have the internet access like that unless you're on a computer or unless we near some kind of land where we can get some kind of signal. So but then honestly, I mean, even like when we at sea and stuff like that, and we don't have that, internet service and all that stuff. Some folks don't really be growing at all, So I don't know. I don't know. It's different. All right, let's see. V for Vendetta said makes sense, but I don't trust Gen Z. yo, everybody get into something, man. I mean, it makes sense and stuff, but yeah, I don't trust that people gonna be doing the right thing either, because that's just the nature of people. And then you gotta think about it. Anybody that just joining the military, no matter what branch you're in, right? They ain't got the military discipline. So I mean, yeah, people gonna be skirting the line. People gonna be doing some BS. They gonna be up to no good. I mean, I get it, So I mean, but that's why you got leadership in place at RTC or at boot camp and stuff that's gonna see it and they gonna act accordingly. I mean, at least one can hope. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. All right. Hey, if you guys watch this on the replay, make sure that you guys like, subscribe to the page, comment. Thank you guys. Man, I'm close to 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you for you guys, man. Thank you to you guys. Thank you. Hopefully you guys watch my latest video. If you haven't, you might want to do that and give me some feedback. Let me know how things are. Let me know if the sound is off, if it's too loud, whatever. If it's too low, you can't hear shit, something like that. Give me some feedback, man. Like I said, I got some tough skin, man. So let me know what's what. All right. All right. Next up, what is off limits? What do you guys think is going to be off limits with these things? This is what I think is going to be off limits. I think that you're not going to be able to go to like Tinder and stuff like that, right? Straight off the bat, I don't think they allowing that at all. If a recruit is on Tinder, Bumble, what's some of the I don't be using these joints for real. What is it? Bumble. One of my sellers said Bumble the other day. If they on Adult Friend Finder, what's the other joint? Ashley Madison, all them things. They you're not gonna be able to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? And if you're doing that, I can guarantee it's gonna be some trouble. Right? If you're watching, these filthy movies and videos you ain't supposed to be, trouble, absolute trouble. They probably send you back. And when I say they send you back, they probably gonna send you ASMO. You're gonna be getting left back. So I would say that that's off limits. Other things I would say is off limits, as I mentioned earlier, shopping, getting packages. Let's say you're trying to plan ahead and stuff like that. They're not going to allow none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like browsing to anything like other than, like maybe like sports, maybe, or like talking to family. I don't think you ain't going to be able to play games and stuff like that. Right? I don't think they're going to let you get on Candy Crush or Toy Blast or Garden Escapes. That used to be one of my favorite joints, man. But yeah, they're not gonna let you get on none of that, man. And if they see you on it, they probably gonna confiscate the phone right away. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. What y'all thinking, man? What y'all think? What y'all think? Let's see. Yo, Brad, imagine swiping on Tinder with other recruits. Yo, that would be crazy. Yo, that would be pandemonium. Beef Vendetta said, yo, somebody gonna try to get on. Yo, if somebody try that, these dudes is wild, man. But you know what? Listen, because you're gonna have your joint in the locker. Somebody they gonna go crazy. You already know. I already know. I'm expecting for somebody to go crazy with it. I already know. Somebody they gonna go in the hub and they gonna be going to town one day, like when they supposed to be sleeping or something, and they gonna get caught messing up everybody. I believe that's gonna happen, right? Ain't no question. All right, so what else is I think is off limits? Yeah, we talked about dating stuff, we talked about shopping stuff, we talked about them videos. Can't be watching the videos. Probably won't be able to watch movies and stuff like that in general, or like TV and like other entertainment and stuff like that. A lot of it is going to be like any contact and stuff that you have, and it's going to be strictly for getting in touch with your family. And then maybe you might have some leaders that give you just a little bit of leeway to like go check out some family friendly type stuff, some stuff like that's like the opposite of not suitable, suitable for work type stuff. So, all right, what are y'all saying? Anthony, let's see. I heard the phone is just locked in a box and you get it for like 10 minutes a day, but I will see when I go in the basic net. All right, so I don't think it's 10 minutes a day. I don't think it's 10 minutes a day. Based on what I've seen, it's like you get it 5 times, based on the stuff I just read. You're gonna get your phone 5 times. But then I talked about will there be other opportunities. I think there will be other opportunities, man. All right, so shout out to you, Anthony, going to Mets, man. Damn, on the 15th, sheesh, man. So that's like in a little bit. What is it, like next week? Damn, shout out to you, man. Good luck, man. Hope you're right. All right, Brent said it's going to be in the A and B draw, or is the RDC going to hold on to them? All right, so let's go back to this joint right here. So it says that the phones are kept. It says it don't mean the recruit's going to have their phones on them at all times. The phones are kept in their lockers. All right, recruits going to access the phones. They're going to have access to phone time during built in approximately 10-week schedule. Eventually, RTC plans to have a way for phones to charge as well. All right, so yeah, they're gonna be in some sort of locker, man. Like what kind of locker? I don't know yet. It could be the A and B drawer. Everybody remember the A and B drawer, but who knows? Who knows, man? I don't know right now. I was waiting for what is it, XRDC to drop a video or something like that. I was hoping that I was going to see something on there, but this is still so new that nobody don't really have the specifics on that yet. Only thing you got is like these what do you call it? Like these right here, these articles and stuff. All right, so going back to the article, and I'm gonna read a little bit more of it. It's like I don't know, man. It is what is a digital native? It said the idea is that recruits are digital natives, with most grown up owning a cell phone, and not having a cell phone can cause physical stress, and it can make you just say, "Oh well, fuck the Navy, I ain't joining no more." I mean, that's kind of wild right there. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. If it's like that, I kind of wouldn't want nobody. I wouldn't want to serve with nobody like that. If it's like, if I don't have my phone, I'm not doing nothing for my country. That's kind of crazy right there. I don't know, man. All right, so let's see. Brandon said, is it going to be in the A and B? Hold on, no, we already asked that. All right, so you said if it goes in the A and B draw, they'll definitely be getting on Pornhub. Yeah, yeah, during taps, yeah, it's going to be some real taps going on, man. You already know that. Yeah, if it's in the A and B drawer, they going wild. I'm telling you right now. I do not see nobody having that self-control to not touch their phone if it's in the A and B drawer. I just don't see that happen. That's why I don't think it's going to be in the A and B drawer. That would be asking for some stuff to happen. All right, so let's see what people are saying about this policy, man. I was reading something, and I had stopped reading because I want to kind of address what y'all talking about. All right, so let's go back to this joint. All right, I don't know if you guys can see this right here. How can I scroll on this and make it more? How can I zoom in? Anyway, I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you guys see this, man? If you can see this, somebody let me know, man. All right, because I'm gonna try to. Yeah, how can I zoom in on this shit? All right, so this guy, Ryan C., he said another reason for the change is to potentially cut down on recruit attrition. We talked about that. And then he says, look, if you have a recruit that calls quits because they can't mentally and emotionally be without a cell phone, you don't want that recruit. Yo, who agrees with that right there, what I just said? Right? Who agrees that if they can't mentally be without a cell phone, you don't want them? Who agree with that? That sounds crazy, don't it? All right, let's see. All right, Anthony said kids nowadays they get a phone at 7 and 8. That's wild. Yo, word. Damn, 7 and 8. I didn't get my first phone till I was like in my late teenage years, man. They legit don't think they can live without it. Yeah, you right. All right, Starbird watching the compartment, catching up on all the anime at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yo, word up, yo. Word, right? Damn. New Dragon Ball Super about to drop. You know my man catching all of it. Yeah. Right? Everybody volunteering for the 2 o'clock watch, for the balls to fall watch. Yeah. Yeah, you already know that, man. Come on, man. Right? Yo, yeah, yo, where my man at? Yo, that's a fact right there, right? Yo, everybody gonna be volunteering for that late watch because they know, right? They gonna be catching up on everything. No lies told. Snapchat, Instagram, they won't save you at war. All right, fair enough. All right, if you can't handle the 10 week, how can you handle a 6 month deployment? Yeah, you're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong, right? You're right. If you can't handle the 10 week, how can you handle a 6 month deployment? All right, and let me just say, in a 6 month deployment, it's not like you're never gonna be able to use your phone. Honestly, you get to use your phone a lot during the 6 month deployment. Now, whether or not you go always have internet is a different story, right? And then there's ways around being able to talk on, or talk to your family and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not like there's no cell phone usage or there's no phone usage on the ship when you on deployment and stuff. Anybody that tell you that they've never been on deployment before. You know what I'm saying? Usually when I'm on deployment, I'm working in the admin office. We always have we always could use the damn phone because we gotta use the phone to conduct business. But then, I mean, sometimes like we got the phone right there. We can just call our family. You know, so when I was on a ship on deployment and stuff like that, a lot of people would boom, boom, boom. Hey, bro, can I use the phone trying to call my girl, trying to call this, and that? And I'd be like, yeah, sure, cool. You know, just come through at this time. If I'm in the middle of work, then I'm like, nah, not right now. But, you know, at a certain time, it's like, yeah, just come through and, you know, just whatever. You know, and they get on the phone and do what they got to do. You know, so, and that's what it is. You know, so, and I ain't be like, oh, you got 30 seconds. It was just like, yeah, just do whatever you got to do. Make sure next time you see me though, you hook me up with that with a monster because I know you're gonna be bobbing like 5 of them. Let me just get one of them, and that's it. You know, so I mean, just being nice, you know, as a courtesy. You know, so I don't know. All right, let's see what others are saying. All right, this guy Full, he says the Navy is also conducting studies on having an open bar on Ricky Sundays. Yeah, whatever. In fiscal year 25 budget, there is funding for a petting zoo. Critical NEC candidates have access to emotional support, ferrets, and iguana. All right, that's some funny stuff, man. That's some funny stuff. That's a good comment. All right, this guy Wilknick said you joke about the petting zoo, but it was just on CBN 78 last week, and a yellow lab is attached to the ship as a designated crew ESA. Hold on, what is this? What ship is that? Hey, what ship is that, guys? Y'all heard that? Hold on, man. What ship is that? Hold on, let's see. CBN 78 head on ship. Have anybody heard that before? Let's see. Oh, damn, that's not true. I mean, that's true. Damn, yo, that's crazy. Yo, check this out. Hold on. So they allowing a dog on the ship. So they really allowing a dog on the ship right now. Damn, that's crazy. So all right, bet. So they really allowing dogs on ships now. Oh damn. Uh, all right, so you know what? I think that's what's next right there, man. They're gonna start allowing dogs on ships and start allowing other crazy policies. That's crazy, man. Damn. Yo, that's crazy. That's the Ford, man. Damn, that's crazy. Like that cat back in World War II. I forgot his name. What y'all talking about, man? Damn, this is all new to me. You see, I didn't. I mean, I wouldn't believe that until I seen it. The dog name is Sage, and damn, he's just on the ship. That is crazy, yo. Yo. They said, "Who gonna clean up the dog?" Yeah, yo, that's crazy, right? Imagine you going to watch late at night. You just step in the dog shit. Come on, man. I'd be so mad right now. Yo, that's crazy. Though. I didn't know that. That's damn. That I don't even know what to say on that, bro. Yo, so I don't know. Let's see. All right, so let's see what other people are saying about this whole policy thing. That's interesting though. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, everybody talking about. All right, so Kenneth Hudson, he's an FMF guy. He says that. Let's see. He says that. What do he says? He says boot camp in 19, huh? Let's see what this guy says. So Kenneth, whatever, right? He says he was in boot camp 1979 through 80. As company yeoman, he wrote phone checks authorizing calls for purposes such as calling home, gathering info for security clearance background investigations. Could have made bucks selling chicks if I wasn't so honest. Yeah, you better not have dirtbag. All right. Shipboard life through 1990. No personal computers, no internet, no phone calls. Mail was the lifeline. Alcio left our patrol off Panama when he got word the nearby Coast Guard cutter a sacks of our mail. What the fuck? Oh, may intercept as the sun set. Every crew member with the flashlight was on deck guiding the motorboat while they were getting those precious mail sacks back. Okay, so yeah, that's crazy. All right, so I don't know, man. I don't know. So some people, it seemed like some people I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But I'm telling you, at work though, we talked about this, and at work, man, some people, everybody had the experience of, using a payphone or phone card and stuff like that. They like, oh, it's not fair. These kids are soft. This and that. And honestly, I mean, one of the people on that was giving a statement, they said like, all right, we changing things in 2024. We getting better. What do y'all think? Y'all think it's a good thing? Y'all think it's a bad thing? I mean, I'll tell you my take before y'all tell y'all. Honestly, it don't hurt. You know what I'm saying? It don't hurt, but I'm just interested to see where it go. It's like some of you guys said in the comments. I don't think people just gonna be using the cell phones, man. I think people gonna be they're gonna be going crazy. They're gonna be doing some wild stuff, and people gonna be like, yo, damn, the phone ain't for that, and they gonna be messing up the rest of the division, and they gonna be getting privileges and shit like that taken away from people. But overall, like, and that's because it's the beginning stage. I think that as we continue to monitor and see how it go, I think things are going to get a lot better though. So, but in the beginning stages, it's going to be hiccup. You're going to see people on the P Hub. You're going to see people probably using Tinder, trying to order stuff on Amazon, doing all this crazy stuff they don't got no business doing. But we're moving in the right direction. You know what's next? The Bears, man. The Bears is next. After the Bears, they're going to, start, expanding stuff. I can tell you that right now. Let's see. All right, so hold on. Let's see. All right, hold on. I got two comments. All right, so damn, I can't read kanji, so I don't know. I think it's a good thing letting them use the supervisor phone calls. They'll be allowed to make it beats. Yeah, the RTC pay phones. I don't know how it is, but like you said, it beats the hell out of the RTC pay phones. I can't believe they still have those, man. I haven't seen a pay phone in years. I don't think it's gonna be free for fall though. It better not be. That would be crazy if it's free for fall though. Let's see. I read a YouTube comment once. They said the military is having issues keeping up with civilian jobs. They have to try something before it gets completely out of control. Yeah, that's true. All right, I mean, civilian jobs, like let's be honest, man. If they can provide more than what the military can, automatically they lost that fight. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I don't care what nobody say. You know, they love patriotism, they love their country, they love their job in the military, all this stuff. But if somebody say we could pay you more, they going to take more, right? So yeah, you're right about that comment right there, right? So, where we at? Where was it? Yeah. That's right. All right, let's see. Brand said we just want better barracks, bruh. I mean, maybe that might come. Did you guys see the reports about all the stuff they was talking about for next year? How what Mick Pond was talking about? He trying to get better barracks. He trying to get BH for like everybody. Damn that, you know. So I don't know. We might that be next, right? You got cell phones in the barracks. Next, I mean, cell phones in boot camp. Next is gonna be better barracks. After that, everybody wearing beards, man. You know, that's what I think. All right, so let's see. Definitely waiting for that beard policy to flex. Yeah, you and everybody else, man. I don't know. I don't know. Seriously, I don't think it's going. I think a few people got to retire before that happens, man. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'll be surprised. The baby boomers retiring is going to keep making things hard if they don't act soon. Uh, yeah, maybe you got it. It might be some truth to that, but I think what's going on in the Navy though, the Navy they're reviewing a lot of policies, and they this is just my opinion. I don't know for sure. I think that the Navy are reviewing a lot of policies and see how it affects a member's motivation to want to stay in and stuff like that at all levels, from boot camp to everybody that's been in for a while. What they're doing from that, they're like, all right, so let's see what happened if we tweak that a little bit. And as they do that, they kind of, go back to the drawing board. They look at the results and say, all right, cool. All right, we got this many people to re-enlist or this many people to not drop off since we made this change. All right, cool. Well, let's tune it a little bit more. And so I think it is going to be a lot more of these small policy changes and stuff like that. Like remember they did this in November, this cell phone policy thing. And at first, they were just like, "Oh, we doing this so we can show that we care about the sailors and we want them to be able to talk to their families." Now they're saying, you know what? Hell, they can come. We're not going to take their cell phones away, and they can use them just while they're in boot camp with certain safeguards in place. So after that, what's going to happen next? You know what I'm saying? I think what's going to happen next like what was it, November, it's about you know under 6 months later they have a new policy on this, and it's way better than what they originally put out. What did they originally put out? They originally put out they was saying that they like when they first released the cell phone policy, where they would just open it up to a couple divisions. They were just saying that they just wanted to show that they were supporting sailors and their family and stuff like that, right? They was talking about improving the process and providing assurance that the Navy cares about their family and their ability to manage their lives. So they were, and you know what? They didn't. I just thought about it. They didn't mention this again, but you should be able to use your stuff for other matters, not just phone calls and stuff like that. So let me go back to that. Will you be able to use other apps? I think you will be able to, because when you're in boot camp and stuff, you got periods where you need to manage your money or help your spouse or your partner manage your money. So you're going to be able to use banking and invest in apps and stuff like that. I believe that. Mark my words on that, right? You're going to be able to go to Navy Federal to check your new Navy Federal account if you switch banks when you get to boot camp, or if you never open up account. That way you can see all that money being built up and stuff like that. Because while you're in boot camp, you be getting paid. And if you like brand new, never really had a job and stuff, it's nice to see that money be built. But if you used to money and stuff like that, I mean, you just gonna, check your money, check your accounts and see what's what. Ain't no big deal, But for some people, that's a big deal, especially when you got a family and stuff. So yeah, you're gonna be able to use other apps. You're gonna be able to use banking apps. If you're somebody that investing is a big deal to you, or trading is a big deal to you, like you probably gonna have a moment where you're gonna be able to go in there and see what's what. You know what I'm saying? Marks, man, what's the deal with you, man? How you doing, man? I'm straight, man. All right, happy Thursday or happy Friday Junior to you, man. Peace to you and your family, man. Shout out to everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us so far, man. Thank you guys for contributing to me getting where I'm at right now with this channel. And I hope that you and the rest of the Deck Plate Champions continue to help me grow this channel, man. I really appreciate it. Marks, man, what's up, man? How you been to? What? How you been, man? What's up with your week, man? What's your week been like? Me, man, I've been getting my ass killed this week, man. Work been terrible, but hopefully your week was better than mine, man. Let's see. What else? Hold on. What else did they talk about when they first released the policy? Oh yeah, the last time I brought this up, right? I talked about how long the phone calls or when they was gonna happen and stuff like that. Oh no, let's talk about this one. I said, will there be any other times where you're gonna use your phone? This I didn't talk about, but I talked about it in my last video. I think they're gonna let you use your phones during holiday routine. I truly do think that during holiday routine, they're gonna be like, all right, you know what? Everybody was good the week or whatever. They was whatever during the week. All right, holiday routine on that Sunday, they're gonna be able to use their phones and stuff like that. But I think they're gonna closely monitor that because people are gonna get crazy sometimes. So, and then a holiday routine, what I'm thinking, I think like they're gonna let them use the phone from like anywhere from 30 minutes to like 2 hours, man. Think about that. 30 minutes to 2 hours on a holiday routine. Think about the difference that would make with somebody going through boot camp. They'd be like, you know what? This ain't that bad, man. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody is hearing this and they, working like in RTC or they got some, they got something over the rules and stuff, they hand this in like 30 minutes, 2 hours. Hell no, we ain't doing that. I'll say that's crazy because honestly, that would kind of help the attrition. I mean, that would help the attrition issue. Otherwise, I don't know, man. Somebody might be like, yo, you know what? This joint kind of sucks. All right, let's see what y'all say in the comments, man. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. My man Mark said he been getting ready for deployment. Word, you getting ready for deployment when you leaving, man? All right. Oh shit, you lucky, man. You going to Japan? Ah, that's right, man. My man going to Japan. Shout out to you, man. You be safe, man. I love Japan. All right, let's see. Say STG, I'm finna join. Huh? You said say, soon STG, you finna join. All right. All right, shout out to you, Trey. All right, well, were you trying to be an STG? All right, let's see. Steven, is this true? Yes, my friend, it's very true. I brought up this policy. I've been reading this policy and whatnot. I've been reading this stuff. You might need to go and check some of the, the previous minutes and stuff. We kind of been going through this right here. Navy recruits now allowed cell phones to make calls home. It's official, man. You see the date on it. April 3rd, the report came. The official word, I think, or the official policy change was on the 29th of March. All right. March is about to leave in a few days. Damn, man. All right, yo, Marks, man. When you get a chance, man, send me your address, man. Send me your ship address, man. I'm gonna try to send you something. All right. Is the Navy worth joining? Yo, who's in the Navy right now? Somebody tell Young Trey if it's worth joining. All right. Somebody that's in the Navy right now, please educate Young Trey. Because I can say whatever because it's my channel and stuff like that. And, I got a bias, you know what I'm saying? But somebody, whoever in the Navy right now, is the Navy worth joining? Because Young Trey want to know. He's saying he want to be an STG, which I wouldn't go for that one. But whatever, like, I'm biased, so you guys tell him something. Somebody tell him something. Let's see. All right, so Brand said it's worth it. All right, that's Brand. We got one that's worth it. All right. Let's see. What else I got, man? What else I got? While we waiting on that stuff. Oh, you know what? You know another app that I didn't think about, y'all. Another app I did not think about. Like, let's go back to the apps. Let's go back to that. Can you use other apps? Yo, I bet there's a chance you'll be able to use FaceTime. All right, because it's the same thing, right? You're gonna be able to use FaceTime. You're gonna be able to use emails, of course, messages and stuff like that. Will you be able to go on social media and stuff like that? Like, will you be able to watch YouTube videos? I don't know, man. Maybe somebody might be on, be in boot camp, man. Tune into a deck play tone video, a Nikki MGT video while they going through boot camp to try to get some tips or something like that. Maybe will they allow that? I don't know, man. That would be kind of surreal, right? You in boot camp looking at a video of boot camp and stuff to try to help you get through it. That'd be surreal. That would be dope, though. They might let you do that, but it's definitely going to be FaceTime. Definitely going to be emails. Definitely going to be, messengers, like I said earlier. But then I think that you might have an opportunity to use, like, some kind of YouTube or something like that, right? And then Anthony said, I just want music apps and YouTube. Honestly, will they let you use music? I think they're going to let you use music, but it's going to be on holiday routine days. Like anytime where you just calling your family, I don't think they're going to let that happen. But holiday routine, you're going to, especially if you got like a fun RDC or something, he's going to be like, yo, all right, what's y'all fit? What music y'all listen to? You know what I mean? This is just maybe if I was an RDC, maybe that's why they should never let me be an RDC, right? And I don't know. It depends on if the division good and stuff, and I'm in a good mood, and I just, shed off my mean ass personality. And then I'm like, hey, what music y'all listen to? Let somebody play some music and stuff like that. And then everybody bobbing out for a little bit. But then I don't know. It depends, man. All right. So Mark said, presently at the E2 level, while it holds value for me at this stage of my life, it demands resilience. One might feel absence keenly as the journey can be hard without constant family. Yeah, you right. So Marks, bruh, so check it out. At the E2 level, I want to say the E1 through E3 level, that's the most challenging rank. Those are the most challenging ranks. If you can get through those ranks, honestly, the rest of the Navy, if you can be resilient at those ranks, because some people get through those ranks, but they're not really resilient. They just get through it because, it's kind of automatic. You know what I'm saying? And then they just get through and make it off of the test, or well, now you don't take tests anymore. But if you can be resilient through E3, then you'll make E4, and then you put on that E5 rank and stuff like that. The rest of the Navy is easy as hell, right? If you are strong through E1 through E3, I swear, from E3 and on, it's dumb easy. But here's the key, right? If you're E3, E1 through E3, the best thing you can do is these three things right here. And I say it all the time, and I be meaning. If you could show up on time, wear the right stuff, and then just do what you told, life is so easy. One of my sailors right now, he's just getting it. He's about to leave now. And I'm like, damn, man, you just got it. Right? He does these simple things. Right? Life is so easy for him. I let him do whatever the hell he wants because he do these simple things. He shows up to work on time. He does everything I tell him to do. And then he just look good in the right uniform all the time. It's easy. We do quarter, because this is what I do, right? So I've learned that the best way to give people success is to have structure and stuff, right? So, hey, what's going on, Justine? Shout out to you. Hey, what's up? All right, what's up? All right, chilling. We chilling out here. We chilling. All right, so let me see. Hey, Mars, I got you. So listen, at your ring, bro, the best thing you can do, show up on time, right uniform, do what you told. All right, like I said, my sailor, like he do these simple things. He can ask me for anything, and I'll most likely say yeah. Right? We hold quarters in the morning, right, from 8 to 8:30 or whatever. We plan our day. I give everybody a 15-minute break. We do quarters 8:45. Right? Hey, you need to do this. You need to do this. Follow up here. Do this. This is a snap. Right? And then throughout the day, as we be working and stuff, I pop my head in. Hey, did this get done? Oh, not yet, Chief, but it's gonna be done soon. Okay, cool. right? At the end of the day, we just go over what happened throughout the day, and a lot of times they getting off early because they did what they got to do. Now we had a period where we was messing up a whole bunch of stuff, and I had to reel everything back. But now that we got through that and stuff, only thing that they got to do is what I tell them to do. And if they do that, life is easy for them. At that rank from E1 through E3 and E4, simple. When you get to my rank, honestly, it don't matter if you do everything that you're supposed to do. You show up on time, right uniform and all that. It's just so much stuff. You be getting punched in your face from every direction. And honestly, you could be doing everything right, but then you'll have a sailor somewhere, they ain't do something. Then they like, why did this person do this, and that? And I'm like, gee, I don't know, sir, but I got to take the blame for it because that's how. Oh, damn. The Navy just tried to end my live stream, man. That's crazy, man. Yo, damn, man. I think the Navy sent the ITs to turn my camera and stuff off, man. It's crazy. But anyway, we back, man. We back. Damn, man. You see, I think Navy sent the ITs, man. They seen that I was giving off game, man. They was like, oh nah, we can't do that. So they sent somebody to shut it down. But it's all good though. It's all good. All right. Let's see. How do people? A little off topic. Yo, Mark, tell me if that makes sense, man. Just those three things, and you'll be all right. All right, Justine, off topic as a mother, but like, let's see. How do people re-enlist in the different branches? So you wouldn't re-enlist. You would have to put a package together based on that branch, and you would have to work with your career counselor and put a package together. Make sure you meet the eligibility requirements for that particular branch. Let's say the Navy have the blue to green program and stuff like that. So you go from, I want to say, it's like blue to green and blue to different, whatever the branch's color is. And if you meet the eligibility requirements and stuff like that, and that branch is accepting whatever, then it's a chance that you can get in. But you don't at re-enlist into another branch. You have to put a package together, and that branch will have to be accepting of your package and stuff like that. Yo, they heard me, right? Yeah, they said, "Oh, you giving an E3, E2 game? No, we ain't supposed to do that, Chief." And then they shut me off, man. They sent the IT1, and they got me taken off, man. But it's all good. All right. Let's see. Anthony says, Trey, congrats and keep on going one step at a time. Take practice ASVABs online. Places like Master Success will help you with study material. Yeah. Okay. All right. Trey, he is talking to recruiters, doing all that good stuff. Yeah. Good luck, Trey. Good luck. Good luck. You good. All right. Yeah. They trying to they trying to silence me, man. It's all good though. I mean, I get it, man. I'm giving gems away, man. No, you cool, you cool, you cool. You good, Justine. We good here. You good here. Justine, I'm hurt because the last few streams, man, I needed a moderator and you wasn't there, and that really hurt me, man, for real. But I'm gonna leave that alone, though. I'm gonna leave that alone. All right. But back on this thing, man. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody got any comments, concerns? Any feedback on this thing here, man? If not, then I can just answer questions for the rest of the time. All right. So let's see. All right, what else y'all got? I need a moderator, Justine. What you? Damn, you see? I don't know if y'all see the Justine Wrench thing. That means Justine is a moderator and stuff, and I'll be needing help with the joint. But not today. We straight today, so we good, man. I'm cool today. All right, so what other questions y'all got, man? Shout out to y'all. No, you good. You good. Justin, you straight. All right. Hey yo, for my wrestling heads out there, man, we got WrestleMania coming this Saturday. Who is watching that? What other questions y'all got in the meantime? All right, let me see. Will you use other apps? Yes, I answered that already. I answered that already. Has anybody watched my? Hold up. So, let me put this out here. I gotta put my plug out here. You guys haven't already. All right, if you guys haven't already, follow me. Follow me on Instagram, deckplate underscore tone, or at X. Right? Please follow me there, tone underscore IM. Or if you're a Reddit user, you can follow me at Vivid Release 4650. Man, I be putting out a lot of subs on people out there, man, because I'm petty like that. All right, WrestleMania, like I said, it's this Saturday. All my wrestling heads out there, yo, don't miss that, man. You know, a lot of people some people be hating on wrestling stuff, but when The Rock come, all the ladies be going crazy. Like that, yo, even my fiance, man, yeah, it's stupid to watch wrestling, but The Rock come on, then she like it, right? Shut up. All right, so all right, let's see. When I deployed, I heard wrestling was on big ships. It used to be. I don't think it is no more. I want to say in the '90s and 2000s, it was on the ships and stuff. They used to hold like events and stuff. Let me see. I think we had, what was it, like Luger. I think hold on. Yeah, I think which one of them ships? It was like the USS Intrepid or something like that. Like back in the day, they had. Oh yeah, yeah. All right, here. Let me see if I can show y'all this one. Yeah, it was like the USS Intrepid. My man, Lex Luger, Yokozuna, they was like fighting on the ship and stuff. Big ass ship, aircraft carrier. Let me see. Hold on, let me see. All right, so this is the beginning of it. What the hell y'all doing? I ain't asked to go to this video, dummy. Video, bro. Hold on, let me see. All right, let me see another video. Yeah, I don't know, man. Anyway, it's a whole bunch of stuff, man. But yeah, they used to be doing like wrestling events on the ships and all that. All right, let's see. Justine says, "How do you get waivers and how long do they take?" Honestly, the waiver situation in the Navy now, man, it's hard to say. The paperwork and all that stuff. I don't know, man. I truly don't know anymore. I used to have a gauge on it, but now there is no gauge. When you submit waivers, it take a long goddamn time. So a timeline for waivers, it could be anywhere from like a couple weeks to like a month, and longer. Because I don't know why. I mean, it's really, if you're talking about medical waivers, right now in the Navy, they got like a new medical system. It's called like Genesis or something. And I'm thinking that they transmit their waivers and all that stuff through there, and that's why it's taking so long. So the Genesis thing that they're doing in the Navy, they're still trying to learn the system. But it's just like Navy, they release the system, ain't really ready to go, and they're like, damn man, we rolling the system out. We still trying to figure shit out, but we rolling the system out too. It's like, all right, cool, So all right. The Attitude Era, I saw so many service members with Austin 316 shirts off duty. Yeah. Yo, I'm mad. I never got myself a 316 shirt, but I'm going to change that. This year, I'm buying me a 316 shirt, man. Who with me, man? I'm buying my 316 shirt. All right, that's cool for real. Who you talking about? Lex? Yeah, Lex Luger. All right, Marks, man, what you saying? Honestly, in the Navy, there's a lot of strange things damn, that joint too loud. All right. There's a lot of strange things that happen, a lot of rumors, but boot camp was one of the funniest places I've ever been or will be at, except Marines, since Marines are, Marines are something else, man. They be having some good stories. But yeah, boot camp, man, I mean, honestly, yeah, I never forget boot camp. Boot camp, I had my best stories in boot camp. Some of my best stories. You see the biggest characters in boot camp all the time. We had this guy going through withdrawal in boot camp. That's the first time I've ever seen somebody going through like actual drug withdrawal. He's like a real drug addict. He thought it'd be funny to join the Navy. I was like, what the hell? That's funny to you. Another guy that claimed he killed all these people before he joined the Navy, and like he'd just be telling us like the wildest lying stories ever. Like ain't nobody believe him too. It's like, oh really? Yeah, he always had. I'm planning on doing a video about like that dude. I mean, not that dude specifically, but I'm planning on doing a video about like the different guns that you shoot in the Navy. And I had a story regarding this guy because he had the chance. Like he was always talking about how he was a shooter in the streets and all this stuff. And this dude finally got the chance to shoot, and he was shooting so terrible, man. Like it was so embarrassing. They had to cover his face and stuff, take the gun from him. They had him hold up or in front of the class. He had to sit in front of the class with his target and show all the shots that he missed. Yo, but that guy said that he was killing a whole bunch of people in the street. He was shooting all these crazy people. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, yeah. Let's see. All right, what? Hold on. We got another question. Can you buy a house on base? You cannot buy a house on base because that property is already bought. But you can rent a house on base. All right, you can rent like military housing, and you can rent like PPV housing. What is it? Personal private provincial housing or something like that. Private venture housing. But you can't buy a house on base. No, you can buy a house in town though. Let's see. Some folks at boot camp are a mystery. High ASVAB scores, yet their character lacks because they never truly work hard, or perhaps they just have a superiority complex. You're right. Yeah, yeah. It's always a mystery in boot camp, man. You know, but you gotta think these people never really been away from home before, so they get around everybody else, and it's just weird, man. It's super weird, you know. Let's see. Justine, yeah, you can rent. Trust me, you will be. Yo, I'm not lying. Yo, you will be paying. I'm telling you. Yo, I'm getting a new place right now. Well, not a new place, but I'm moving closer to base. Just because my boys are coming, and I want my boys to be able to. I want to live closer to base so I can be able to check in on them and stuff. And I'm telling you, I asked one of them like, "Yo, do I have to give all my BAH?" And it was like, oh yeah, yeah, we definitely gonna need all that, no matter how much it costs. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to do that because I send most of it from my boys for support. That don't make no sense. And then there's like, oh, so you want to talk to the other people that do housing because they sell your, they rent to you at market rate. And I was like, all right, bet. Because honestly, that don't make no sense. I get a place that's like what $1,400, $1,000, and then y'all gonna charge me the whole rate, which is like 2,500, 2,000, 2,400. That don't make no damn sense. But anyway, let's move on. All right. Oh, my sister, shout out Nana. Oh, damn, my government is out there. Yo, what's up, Nana? How you doing? And we got my sister in the stream. Shout out to you. All right, Justine is with another one. All right, so what other question y'all got? Hey, shout out to my sister in the stream, man. A deck plate champion and a supporter for real. Thank you. I hope everybody is good. How is Cairo doing, Nana? Let me know. Send me a message on this joint right here, man. Thank you guys. Oh yeah, and I'm doing my weekly support to the channel. If you guys want to support the channel and stuff like that, you guys can either send a super sticker or a super chat. I I like to be the first to support the channel. And every support that you guys send from the channel goes back into the channel as I try to, continue to build the community and make it better, man. So thank you in advance for you guys, man. All right, so Brand, he says WrestleMania Saturday. Who you got? Who I got? Yo, you already know, man. All right, first of all, I know it's not gonna happen, but I do not want Cody Rhodes to win nothing. If he win, and I'm gonna be mad, right? Because I don't hate Cody Rhodes. I don't like. I mean, I'm a child of God. I love everybody, but Cody Rhodes, if he wins the belt, I'm gonna be so damn mad. I'm serious, right? I love The Rock, and I want The Rock to go crazy. I want The Rock. Hey, Astronomical, shout out to you. Thank you for your support, man. Shout out to Astronomical. You guys thank Astronomical for supporting the channel and stuff. Hey guys, we are building this channel. I really appreciate that. Hey, let me see. All right. Yo, Tony, it's your boy. The under, yo, that story last week that my man talked about, he thought Undertaker was bodying people for real. Yo, astronomical, you a wild boy, man. Yo, I was thinking about that earlier, man. That joke was funny. All right, so let's see. Mark said the most frustrating thing I heard when you tired from the military in general, you try to claim your BA. No, that's not true. That's not true. I can tell you some stuff about the BA, but it ain't like that for real, man. Let's see. All right, my man. All right, Beefy Vendetta with the slender. He said Roman Reigns the weakest champion in history. Come on, bro. Yo, how can you even disrespect? Yo, how you gonna disrespect the tribal chief like that, B? There's no way. The tribal. Yo, now don't get me wrong. I used to hate Roman Reigns. I used to hate him. Like before he became a bad guy, I didn't like him because I hated like his goatee. His music was garbage. Like, and he's just like stupid, man. I was like, come on, Roman Reigns, this guy's weak. But when he became a bad guy, I was like, damn, this dude. The thing that got me was the music, the entrance, the number one. Yo, I was like, yo, this joint is fire. Yo, you cannot tell me, even if you don't like Roman Reigns, tell me his music not fire. Come on. That music, his entrance, come on, man. You can't do that. Cody and Seth win a tag team, and then Cody loses versus Roman. Brand, if that happened, I'm okay with that. If they win a tag team match, I'll give it to them, even though that won't really happen. The Rock will beat the hell out of them. But if they lose, yo, if Cody lose, I'm gonna be so happy, man. Oh my God, I'm gonna be so happy. Oh Lord, please let that happen for me. All right, so let's see. I hope that happens, man. I hope that happens. All right, so let me answer some of your questions with this stuff. But yo, y'all got some good perspective. Yo, who watching WrestleMania tomorrow, man? For real, we gotta watch that joint tomorrow. All right, let's see. Astronomical, he came back to answer Mark's questions from earlier. He said you have to start claiming your VA a year before you get out and start making copies of your medical record. Yeah, word. I'm about to go to medical soon, man. Like just to remind them that I'm still hurt, because one of my sellers, this dude, he didn't even get through A school, man. My man didn't get through A school, and he just got out, or he's getting out 100% disability. My man ain't even been in the fleet yet. I said, wait a second, man. All right, so Navy, when I get out, and I've been through some stuff, man. If y'all don't say 100%, yo, we gonna have some words. You know what I'm saying? IBA. When I'm get out, I ain't got 100%. I'm hurting somebody. I'm telling y'all that straight up. I'm hurting somebody. All right, cause man, that was crazy. But anyway, let's see. Let me see what y'all talking about. All right, Anthony says, "What's your favorite base or what bases you've been to?" Damn, that's a hard one right there. Dang man, my favorite base. I give you this. My favorite base, bro. My favorite base is it's probably Yokosuka Naval Base. Maybe Yokosuka Naval Base. I think it's Yokosuka Naval Base. That base is fire to me. All right. My second favorite base is the Norfolk base. I like that base. All right. Other bases I've been to White Beach base, Yokosuka base. I've been to San Diego Naval Base. I've been to Great Lakes base, Naval Station Great Lakes. I've been to Rhoda base over there, Meridian, Mississippi base. I've been to Fort Hamilton Army base. I've been to Camp Courtney, Camp Shields, different military, Marine bases and stuff like that. I've been to a few, man. But my favorite by far got to be Yokosuka, Kadena Air Force Base, Joint Base Anacostia Bowling, Andrews Air Force Base. Been to a hell of a lot of bases, man. I'm probably going to head out, get some sleep, stay safe. Yeah. Muster in the morning and show up early, man. Yo, remember, Marks, hit me up. Send me your ship address, man. When we start sending out some stuff to the Deck Play Champions, man, I'm gonna be sure to send you something, man. All right. Let's see. Justine, you said, do veterans live on base? Some veterans do live on base, depending on. No. All right. Well, not on base, but like military housing and stuff like that. Like if it just happened to be on base, then yeah. But it depends. It depends. It depends. It depends, man. All right. Hey, shout out to Awkward Jones. Shout out to Awkward Jones. You guys, thank you, Awkward Jones. Thank you. I really appreciate you for supporting the page, man. Thank you for helping us build this community, man. Awkward Jones said he used VA for his CDL. Really? Military offers many pennies. You say you use it for your CDL. How? Hey, put us on game. How you use that for your CDL? I didn't even know you could do that low key. What do you mean? Damn. Hold up, yo. My man Awkward about to give us some game because I truly did not know that you could do that. That's crazy. All right, let's see. All right, let me go back. All right, so Astronomical says, when do they decide who's going to win and lose a match? How much practice going and how much match? Yo, bro, I don't know, man. I hate that I know that, and I hate that that's a thing, man. I have no idea. Me, I try not to get too much in it. I just watch it, man, for real. Because once you start thinking like that, you're like, damn, man, y'all killing the whole game with that. Let's see. Brand says folks scamming the VA. Yeah, yo, bruh, no lie. Because honestly, yo, in the VA, if you tell them you got mental problems, automatic they hooking you up. You could people be telling them some crazy stuff. All right, and this is how crazy it is. All right, so I got a seller that got out, and this was before I became like this guy that you kind of hate at work sometimes, right? I used to come in Fridays and stuff like that. Fridays, buy everybody breakfast. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, hey, Chick-fil-A, we used to go to, Fridays, hey, let's go to Egg Bistro or whatever. We used to get like real nice breakfast. And one day the sailor, like, they got in a situation. This sailor, she was always used to getting off super early. But then things changed at the command. We had to get more work done. And so I was like, hey, you can't be leaving that on. Like before my predecessor, she used to let her come in and she'd leave like by 10:00. So you get to work at 8, you leave by 10:00. When I came and the work increased, I was like, hey, you can't leave at 10:00 no more. You can leave at 1300. And out of nowhere that became a stressful thing for her. And then she started, hey, I got mental problems. Oh, admin is stressful, whatever. And then she started going to hospital and saying that she couldn't handle the stressful working environment. I'm like, bruh, you come in at 8 o'clock, you only work for a few hours. You first want to go home every time. You got nice breakfast on Fridays and stuff like that. After that, I was like, yo, you know what? That's crazy. So just because I made her start doing work and stuff, she was like, oh, nah, I'm getting out. And she scammed the VA. I'm going to say it, VA, y'all hear me? She was scamming. She was lying to y'all, right? And she got out like what, 70% disability and stuff like that, off of like just straight lying. And it was crazy. How much is the boost in pay joining with 3 dependents? My recruiter gave me a annual estimate, but I like another opinion. Well, what did V what the recruiter say? I know that recruiter is saying some crazy stuff, man. All right, let's see. What's the procedure when I get a tour of a ship? What do I say to guards on the gangway or the plane? All right, you are astronomical. You're an officer, right? All right, so for real, like honestly, just go to a ship, show your ID and stuff. You say, hey, I'm an officer, whatever. And then, just ask like one of the watchstanders or something to maybe they can ask the section leader or the CDO or somebody just like, hey, I'm in you said Air Force, right? I'm in the Air Force and, I've never been on a ship. You said when you come for an official visit? Oh yeah, you just talk to a watchstander or somebody in charge and just ask them, hey, can I get a tour of the ship? This is simple, bro. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Let me scroll ahead and catch some of your comments. Let me see. All right, Brand said they actually want to go to Yoko. And he said for definite recall orders. Yo, bro, you should go to Yoko. You crazy if you don't. Oh, what's up with you, man? Shout out to you. Shout out to you, man. For real. I hope everything good with you, man. What's up, man? I ain't seen you since last week. All right, so who is the hottest girl in wrestling? Pick one female wrestler and one corner girl sister. Dang. I don't know, man. I can't answer those questions, man. Who is this, man? Who is this? Who is this FaceTiming me? Somebody just FaceTimed the hell out of me. Who is that? Oh, nah, I'm gonna get that call back. All right, so give me a second. All right, yo, but gun in my head, I'm gonna go with Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. All right, that's it. All right, let's see. Uh, let me see. All right, Awkward Jones. All right, back to what Awkward Jones was saying earlier, because Awkward Jones, he put some real game up about this CDL thing. He used the VA for CDL. Let's go back to that. That's crazy. I didn't even know you could do that. All right, he says some CDL schools pay for training, books, and E5BH. He only paid $30 for a 5K course. Damn, what the? Check out Sage Truck Training. They have a few schools across America. Damn, that's crazy. Yo, hey, good looking for that assist, man. For real, Jones. I ain't even know that. That's some crazy stuff. You said, what was that, bro? What you talking about? What happened? All right, Young Trey says they lied to me about a bonus. Yeah, yo, come on, man. Yo, I mean, you gotta take some of the stuff that you hear with a grain of salt, Trey. You gotta do your resources, because if you take everything that you hearing from some of the recruiters as face value, bro, you boo boo the fool. I'm telling you right now. You gotta do a little bit of research, because sometimes they be saying whatever's clever. Not all the time, but the ones that's not like really dedicated, the ones that don't understand like the power or work and stuff like that, and being honest, man, they gonna tell you whatever, and it's gonna be some BS sometimes. All right, let me see. You said, oh damn, they told you looking at 45 to 50 a year. Like joining at what rank? Hold on, give me a second. Let me hit this. Let me answer this text back. At what rank, bro? Astronomical. Hey, shout out. Yo, hey, astronomical. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Yo, that was dirty. That was dirty. You gonna highlight this bullshit? Thank you for building this channel, man. Thank you for building the community. Everybody, make sure that you guys big up astronomical, man. He asked about hot women and lady calls to cuss you out 3 seconds later. No, that's not what happened, bro. Oh man. Yo, oh man, y'all, wow, man. So he told you 45 to 50, E3 with or E2 with 3 dependents, bro. You know what? He using this right here. He using this metric right here. What is it? Navy.com, right? All right. I get it. I see what he's doing. He ain't low. All right, so this is what he's doing. All right, I'm gonna put you on some game. All right, you're on the career benefits, pay. All right, and they still got that pay and benefits joint up. Yep. All right, this is what he's using right here. Now, how do you zoom in on this shit? All right, let's see. I'm gonna show you what he's doing right now, bro. All right, so he going here. All right, you guys see this right here. All right, so you see that? So E2. All right, based on his math, that's what that is. All right, I know y'all can't see the fine print, but the fine print basically says including benefits and all that other stuff. So is he telling the truth? He's not telling a full picture, you know what I'm saying? But now let's look at, I'm gonna tell you no BS, like the real. All right, so let's see. Navy pay chart right now, and I got a video on that that I made earlier in the year. All right, so you can check that video out for a better understanding of what your bread is looking like too. So All right, let me see. All right, let me see. We're gonna do it like this for you. All right, what year is this? Oh, word. All right, so E3. All right, yo. So hey, V, you still with me? So check this out, right? So all right, I'm gonna put this up right now. Let me know if you can see this. If this is playing for you. All right, so E3. All right, Pete. All right, so E3 or E2, right? That's what you say, E2 with dependents, right? That's your basic pay right here, right? E2. So it's gonna be somewhere around there, right? That's that, like if you just joined it. All right, now do that math times 12 real quick for me. All right, yo V. All right, you saw that amount of money. All right, that's $261.10. Right, if you just joined it, do that times 12. Let me know what you get. All right, now we're gonna patiently wait. Let me answer the rest of y'all stuff. All right, so while we're waiting on that, Awkward said my company also does veterans OJT for 6 months, and it's about 8K extra. Made over 50K my first year. Damn, bro. Oh, Jones, how long? So wait. When did you get out, bro? Let's see. Let's just make sure you get the honorable discharge. Ah, you're right. What about so awkward. So what about if you get more than like a other than honorable or something like that? It got to be an honorable. Can it be like a general under honorable conditions or anything like that? Damn. Let's see. Damn, my man. Hey V, man, what's up with that math, man? What's up with that math, man? Hey, put that amount together. The 2,206. What? I forgot what. 2,200. Damn, let me put it. All right, $2,261.10 times 12. All right, do that math. 27K, right? All right, so let's say you go to BA. All right, let's say you go to BA, Virginia, right now. All right, you stationed in Virginia. All right, let's see Virginia. All right, we're gonna do this. All right, let's see how much money the detailer, like I was saying, you was gonna make. All right, BH rate with dependents, right? In 2024. All right, so we're gonna do a little quick math. All right, your rank is an E2 with dependents. All right, cool. So we're gonna do this. All right, so Pete. All right, so that's your number right there, right? So let's say the number I just posted in the chat. All right, 2,000 what? $2,049. All right, now do that times 12, and then add that 27K to that. That's pretty much what you're making and stuff. But you got to deduct taxes. So you got to deduct taxes. Let's say most taxes about what? About 30 something percent. So do the math. That's how much money you'll be making. You know what I'm saying? Now I didn't add the other stuff like other pays and allowances and other stuff like that. So, but like most money is gonna come out of your base pay and your BH, right? If you got dependents and shit like that, all right? Hopefully that makes sense to somebody, all right? All right, but let me go back to da, 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 da. All right, let's Paolo's a troll. He said Jeopardy music plays. All right, so Reginald, all right. Reginald said, I love the show, my brother. Always love supporting your page. I'm shipping out to Bootcamp April. Oh, shit. As an E3 for ABF at the age 34. I feel old now just getting in. Yo, what Aaliyah said, bro, age ain't nothing but a number. You good, man. Hey, but I'm going to tell you this, all right? At 34 years old, our body ain't working the same. So one thing that's gonna hurt you in the Navy and stuff, Navy sailors like drinking and all that crazy stuff. All right, as a 30-plus-year-old person in the Navy, you gotta slow down with the drinking and you gotta become more in tune with being in the gym and stuff like that. You don't even gotta go hard in the gym every day. You know, what I mean, I go to the gym often, but I don't be going there trying to kill myself. But the idea is to just make sure that your body is still like able to maintain that elasticity and all that stuff. Being in the gym and just throwing some weight up, putting some cardio together because your body ain't gonna be working how it's supposed to. Like if you just let it sit dormant and stuff like that. And keep in mind, the older you get, the more you're gonna have ailments and stuff like that. If you know, take care of yourself. 18-year-old, they can do whatever the hell they want. When you're 30, you gotta be a little bit smarter. You know, be wise on the meals and stuff that you have every once in a while. Let's see. Be wise on drinking. Simple stuff that we take for granted. Drinking water. 30 years old, yo, water is a necessity. You hear me? A necessity. If you are not drinking water every day at 30 years old, let me tell y'all some real stuff, right? Hey, Reginald, you hear me? Right, 30 years old, right? I'm gonna tell you this real stuff. Just happened with one of my brothers, my chief brothers, right? After 20 something years in the Navy, right? This brother, he served in the Navy for like 23 years, right? And I knew him at the time, and he used to smoke, and I always seen him. He was like drinking coffee, energy drinks, and stuff like that. Never really seen him in the gym and stuff like that. Never really seen him drinking a whole bunch of water, but he probably did. But and shout out to him and his family and stuff like that. 23 years in the Navy. He just retired, and well, he retired at the end of July, and he was just found dead in his house, like last week. And from what I'm hearing, he's like he just dropped dead. So I think it was like a natural cause. I'm thinking that it's from all the mileage you put on your body as you older. And he was not like what 43 years old. You know what I'm saying? All that mileage and stuff that he put on his body, it came and got him later. So listen, and rest in peace to him because it's my brother in the Navy, a fellow chief, and he retired. He got to the end and didn't even get a chance to really enjoy himself in retirement. Well, he did, but he didn't get a chance to live out his retirement, man. And just take care of yourself, man. Original. So stay in the gym, do what you got to do. Drink water, drink less alcohol and stuff like that. Eat right. You know what I'm saying? And then honestly, once you get out, you'll be 55 if you do a 20, and you're gonna live the rest of your life chilling, right? We talk about wrestling on the channel. You guys seen The Rock, right? You guys seen The Rock lately? That mother, what he 50 years old. 50 years old, and he damn look younger than me. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Damn, what's this dude name? So you seen Mike Tyson lately? Mike Tyson training videos and stuff like that. Mike Tyson. I mean, I keep forgetting he's 57 years old. Will I fight Mike Tyson right now? Hell no. Well, nah. It depends. Pay me some money. I'll take a few body shots. No, I'm lying. I don't think I would. But back to my point. Take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? My man is 57 years old, and I don't know nobody in this chat that would really fight Mike Tyson. If Jake Paul was in here right now, he'd probably be like, I really don't want to fight Mike Tyson. Right? So, yeah, man, that's a big thing. Yeah, my condolences to him and his family too. We heard about that. We was like, sheesh, man. Take care of yourself, folks. Right? Please, people, take care of yourself. All right. Anthony says 35 about to join. Dang, doing 5 workouts a week, prep for boot camp, jogging 3 miles every workout, 2 to 4 weight training session. That's good, man. That's good. You got to say like that, And 30 is becoming a new 21 anyway, man, for real. Because you got the experience and then you got the finesse. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to your 30s, man, if you maintain your look to a certain degree, man, people are going to be like, damn, who is that? Because 30, you keep some looks, you keep some good looks, but then you got experience too. You know what I'm saying? So you more seasoned. You know how to dress a little better. You got more maturity. If you're a man or a woman, you got more charm. All that stuff. Not saying anything about anything less than 30, but I'm saying at that 30, that's the real sweet spot right there. You know what I'm saying? So all right. Justine said, "Water is life, bro. My lips be dry if I don't have no water. I'm telling you, word. You ever seen somebody with dry ass lips, man? No water." All right, Reginald. Yeah, shout out to you. Man, I was going to watch the Tyson fight until someone told me it's just an exhibition. I'm telling you, yo, I'm telling you, Mike Tyson is not winning that fight, man. He's not winning that fight. He's not. He's gonna let him win. So he said Mike will put us all on the edge. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Mike Tyson really, if he really wanted to fight, he probably would do. He'd probably do damage to Jake Paul. But is he going to? No. He gonna let him win the fight. I'm telling you. He gonna let him win the fight. I'm serious. So that's just my take on that. Oh damn. It is getting yo. Hey y'all, it is getting kind of late. Not gonna lie to y'all. Shit, man, I didn't even notice the time was like that. But where's B, man? Let me resolve his joint. B for Vendetta. All right. So you said the da da da, and you said that. Yo, Justine, you said that was bread. How much did somebody do that math on that? Just so I can resolve that, fam. All right. So let me see what because I put how much that BH was gonna be if he was living out there, right? Was it 2049? All right, times 12. All right, so 27K plus that. 27K plus, let's see. I'm gonna round it up to. All right, yo, no lotto. Yeah, bro is kind of telling the truth. Yo, I ain't gonna front. Like without the taxes, he telling the truth, bro. I ain't gonna front. Yo, it said, can you type the problem in the comments? Yo, can't you type the problem in the comments, Justine? I gave you what's the name access? You should be able to do that. All right, let me see. Damn. Let's see. All right, the problem is what 2,700. All right, 27,000 plus what was it? How much was the VH again? 2040. Damn, man. Damn, y'all making me do math. That's not my strong suit, man. All right, cool. So 24 and 6, right? So is that right? Yeah, so that's how much that is. And I should have probably put the equal, right? But that's how much that is, So that together. And if you do that, and I don't know why I didn't just put that together. All right, 27. I swear I'm dumb as hell, bro. Because I was supposed to actually hit equal. All right. So the detailer, I mean not the detailer, the recruiter, he said he would be making like 50. So after taxes and stuff like that, he'll be making around there if you round it, you know what I'm saying? So, V, I think this time, I would believe him. You know what I'm saying? Right? So it depends on where you are. If you have C duty or something like that, factor in the C pay, factor in if you're going on deployment and getting family separation allowance and stuff like that. Let's say you're on a 9-month deployment and you're getting family separation allowance, right? That's 250 extra every month. C pay and stuff like that ain't that much until you start building time. Let's say you do consecutive 3 years or more, then you start getting the C pay kicker. You're making a decent amount of money. So, but during that time, in a 3-year period, you're not going to stay at that rank making that same amount of money. 3-year period, you're going to be at higher rank. So, I mean, he right. He a little bit more than right, honestly. So, yeah, V, that's sound advice, man. Trust that detailer because, I keep saying detailer. Trust that recruiter because he telling you right stuff, man, for real. All right. All right, guys. So I got like 5 more minutes under my belt. Then I gotta walk my dogs. I gotta make myself some dinner, and I gotta hit the rack so I can wake up for the gym tomorrow and get to work. So what y'all got? Throw them at me, y'all. Holla at me. Hey, and if y'all want, y'all can always hit me on my social medias, man. If y'all want to talk about anything else or ask additional questions and stuff, and I got y'all. All right, you can hit me up. I answer my messages on tone_im at Twitter X and Instagram at deckplate_tone. You guys can hit me there, and I definitely will respond. As well as if you guys want to hit me on my email, just for y'all, I'm gonna say y'all can hit me at Tone Talks Business at gmail.com. All right, is that right? Tone Talks Business at gmail.com. Yeah. So I can hit me there and stuff like that, and I'll respond to y'all. Somebody keep on the lookout, please, because I'm still looking for an editor so I can get somebody to edit my videos the way that they need to be edited, guys. And if y'all haven't watched my latest video, let me know what y'all think. Watch that video. Let me know what y'all think. Give me some feedback. Let me know if the sound was fucked up to you, if it was good to you. Let me know if you hated or liked something about the video. And please give me that feedback, guys. All right. I notice sometimes I be getting people like disliking some of my stuff, or they'll like unsubscribe to my giant. I'm like, all right, well, damn, what happened? Let me know something. All right. So Anthony said, "What race travel the most in your opinion?" I think YNs, PSs. I think like CTRs. I think. Damn, that's a hard one. Travel the most in your opinion, like anything like a CT, whatever, YNs, PSs, RSs, and stuff like that. What else? I think most of the admin rates and support rates they travel a lot, But anybody can for real. But when it comes to type of billets or types of jobs in different locations, the support rates do that a lot. Certain like cryptological rates and stuff like that. I hear that they go to some pretty cool places like ISs, CTRs, CTNs, CTIs. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it to me, honestly. Most of the engineering rates and stuff like that, where they mostly get their bread and butter on a ship, they really stick in the areas, in my opinion. I mean, this is just my opinion. They stick in the area where most of the ships are, right? So most of the ships are going to be in Mayport. They're going to be in Norfolk. They're going to be in what is it? Mayport, Norfolk. I mean, you got ships other places too, like Japan and Italy and Rhoda and stuff like that. But a good amount of them is going to be in Norfolk, Mayport, and in San Diego, Washington, stuff like that. So, how much travel do they do? They do the travel on deployment. But if you're talking about going to somewhere where, say, for instance, you want to work at the embassy in like fucking Belgium or something like that, usually that's a job that a yeoman or somebody gonna have, or you're gonna work with like a attaché duty or something, working for like some weird joint command, working at some government that you never even heard of. That's going to be something like a rate like mine. You know what I'm saying? Some of my friends, they work, they've been to some countries and stuff I can't even pronounce, and they do some jobs that's like, it's mostly like security jobs and stuff like that. Like with the yeoman rate, one facade of our job is doing security and stuff like that. Sometimes working in like like secret compartment information locations and stuff like that. And so we got duties in some of those locations. So uh, hopefully that answers your question. All right, what's the three best jobs? Oh shit, man, I don't know, man. Three best jobs. I don't know. It really depend on what you like. You know, ain't no like I talked to HT the other day. Most people that don't know the HT rate, they say the HT rate is something that you want to avoid. I don't agree with that. I think if you don't know the job, you can't really judge it. HT, some people say they're a whole technician. Only thing they do is be around shit all day. That's not true, but that's what some people think. This guy, he's an HT1. He said he loves being an HT. Like I asked him, like, we were talking about something. He was like, I love being an HT. I love it so much, and I'm gonna be in the Navy all this time. He's not a Joe Navy type dude. He liked being an HT. He loved his job. He's like, if I couldn't do anything else, I would not be in the Navy. I was like, shit, okay. And he's like a real cool guy. He's not some super nerdy, dude that just like loved the Navy just because he loved Navy. He's like a real down to earth dude. He's like, yo, I love this shit. I love what I do. Right. So MCs too. Thank you for that one, Kiana. Yeah, that's right. MCs, that's a good point. Well, yeah, that's a support rate. MC, they wish there was more content on YouTube. Was looking into that rate. MCs, yeah, you know what? There's a channel about MCs, if I'm not mistaken. I remember seeing something about these fools. I think they were giving like it was like hold on, let me see if I can help somebody out that's looking at the MC rate, because if I'm not mistaken, there's an MC Navy MC rate. There's a video out there. Yeah, it is. Yeah, mass community. Well, Navy's video. Yeah, yo, it's some videos out there where they talk about the MC rate. You know, the Navy's MC videos, they're a little bit informative, but I would go with people that actually are doing a job and stuff too, and that's giving more insight. The Navy video, they got some on it. It's useful stuff though. So, but anybody got any more questions before I go? I'm about to dip out in another couple minutes. You guys can watch the replay. If you guys watch the replay and everything, man, we was talking about the Navy won't take your phone in boot camp anymore. And what I was covering on that, I was covering some of these things here. I was saying that with this right here, get this damn comment out the way for real quick. All right, sorry, Kiana. Thank you for that input, though. Let's see. All right, so back to what I was saying. I was saying that we was talking about how long the phone calls are. All right, we was talking about will there be any other times where you can use your phone? I was talking about will you be able to use other apps and stuff like that? We had some pretty funny conversations on that. You guys might want to check the replay out for that. We talked about what's off limits. We talked about some of the things that's off limits. Again, we had some pretty funny comments and stuff like that. That was pretty good insight from a lot of different people. We talked about what other people are saying regarding this policy change, man. So you guys watch the replay. Go back and check it out, and let me know what you guys think. All right, and make sure that you guys are hitting that comment, like, subscribe to the page, all that good stuff, man. Make sure you guys are commenting something. I love the comments. It's feedback for me. All right, and let's see what else we got. Oh yeah. And then make sure you guys are following me on the socials and all that stuff. Instagram, deckplay_tone. All right. Twitter, X, hit me up on tone_IM. Vivid Release, all that good stuff, like Vivid Release on Reddit. All right. Give you guys a chance to get that one. And then join me, guys, if you want, or let's just talk whatever. I might do a stream or whatever. We watching WrestleMania this Saturday. Somebody hit me up if you want to watch with me. All right. And all right. Y'all have a good night. Hey, thank you to everybody. This is like the highlight of my day, man. It's always something that happens when I live stream, and I'm sitting there writing my notes. The damn StreamYard clicked out and stuff like that. But I really guarantee that the next one is going to be just as fun. And I really appreciate you guys for joining me. Thank you to all the deck plate champions out there. Hey, belt is coming, guys. Belt is coming. And then I got some merchandise and little knickknacks and stuff in the works to send to you guys for your thank yous and stuff and for your fellowship and stuff like that. All right, guys, let's see. I fucking do not like my hometown. What the hell? What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about, Adrian? Hey, I'm about to dip, man. But what do you mean? All right, real quick. All right, I'm gonna humor this last one. What is he talking about? He don't like his hometown. All right, Justine, thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate you, ma'am. All right, Adrian, just hit me up on comments or hit me up on Instagram if you want. Where's your hometown, bro? Houses of money. All right. Hey, you know what? Hit me up on Instagram, man. Let's if you want, let's talk. But I gotta go. All right. Adrian, how come you just come to the stream? Late ass, man. Damn. Adrian, bro, hit me up on Instagram. All right. All right. I'm about to go. Yeah, I do have to go. I'm sorry, I gotta go, guys. But thank y'all for joining. Hit me on the next one. I'll be here next week. I try to be on time next time. Getting my notes together be really throwing me off every time, man. Shout out to y'all. All right, let's see. All right, shout out to y'all. All right, thank you. All right, bye bye now.